As Sri Lanka battles its worst economic crisis in 70 years, the joblessness rate has climbed, stoking massive social and political concerns in the country. The latest official data shows that the island nation's unemployment rate rose to 5% by the end of September last year. During this time, the economy contracted by 12%. The unemployment rate was 4.6% in the prior quarter ending June. The central bank's monthly business surveys, which are more forward-looking indicators, revealed a consistent cut in jobs in both the manufacturing and service sectors as a result of hiring freezes, layoffs and retirements. Now, in what will complicate matters further for policymakers, data showed labour participation in Sri Lanka continues to sink. The exodus of people from the country escaping the miserable living conditions have added to the issues facing businesses in recruiting top talent. Sri Lanka lost well over 300,000 of its workforce in 2022 to overseas employment, the worst for any year on record. Sri Lanka has also cut its recurrent budget spending by 6% in 2023 to manage its finances. The cabinet also approved a plan to delay the salaries of the government employees to manage its already stretched and highly indebted public finances. A cut in public spending is a requirement for an IMF bailout, which the president said was the only way out for the crisis-stricken country. That comes at a time when the most vulnerable in Sri Lanka fear that they will not be able to make it through the food security crisis caused by the country's rising cost of living crisis. The government struggles to manage the country's worst economic crisis since independence in 1948, and it tries to balance it with the conditions for an IMF bailout, which the island nation desperately needs. One of the conditions for the IMF bailout is that Sri Lanka convinces India and China to reduce the debt it owes. A latest report from Reuters, quoting sources, showed India has written to the IMF backing Sri Lanka's debt restructuring plan. For more on this, our correspondent Dasunya Thola has sent us this report. Take a look.
Sri Lanka's unemployment rate rising, along with an increasing number of individuals trying to go overseas for employment opportunities, will only add more strains to Sri Lanka's ailing economy and also add more pressure on the Sri Lankan government to pay for benefits for these individuals who will now be falling into vulnerable as well as low-income families. While Sri Lanka is desperately trying to turn a new leaf in rewriting Sri Lanka's tragic economic downfall, the reality at the moment pretty much remains the same. Reporting for WION World is one from Colombo. I'm Dasunya Thola.